What's going on, Alabama fans? Ricky Green here on the Alabama Football Network. Got a hold of our good friend and brother, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, a little earlier this morning. He and I broke some things down about this weekend's top 10 matchup between Alabama and LSU. We talked about a defensive back that really needs to make some noise here prior to the end of the season. We talked about Bill O'Brien and his ability or lack thereof to scheme our players into a position where they can be more successful, and talked about some of the key matchups and what Alabama must do to go to Baton Rouge and secure a victory on Saturday night. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. Roll Tide.
What do you expect to see from us offensively and defensively? How do we have to game plan to slow down this mobile quarterback that LSU has?
Well, defensively, I think number one, you're gonna have to that interior defensive line. And we're referring to Dale and Otis, especially if they play this week. Tim Smith, Burrows, Byron Young. They have got to get interior pressure. We've got to constantly get interior pressure. If we can't get sacks, at least knock the ball down. We got to get some interior pressure. We can't just have it on Anderson and Turner and Chris Braswell. That front 3 to 4, they have got to make their presence felt against Jaden Daniels, because when you're able to get to him, he will make a mistake. And he can make a couple of mistakes if you really consistently get to him. So Golding, Freddie Roach, this defensive line, they got to show themselves in this football game.
No doubt about it. What do you expect from Eli Ricks this weekend? Do you think that it'll be too much for him emotionally, or do you expect him to be able to go in and continue to dominate?
I honestly think he'll be fine. I think it'll be the guys around him. If Kool-Aid McKinstry locks up his guy, if Brian Branch continues on the pace he's on, no penalties, but continue on the pace that he's on, I want to see something from Jordan Battle. He's the only person in the secondary that we have not heard his name much at all this year. So this is a game for him, especially when you're looking at, every NFL scout is going to be in Baton Rouge. So if he's trying to be a first-round pick, whether it's middle first round, late first round, it's time to hear something from Jordan Battle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's, one of the guys on our defense that truly knows this Nick Saban, Pete Golding scheme inside and out. He's been on campus for a couple of years now. It is his money year, and we've yet to really see him stand out in a major way throughout the first 8 games of the season. So I'm really excited about potentially seeing him have that breakout game. Like you said, pretty much every NFL team in the country will have a scout in Baton Rouge. So I hope that he's able to put on a show for them. Last thing that I was going to ask you, this Bill O'Brien offense, we've heard Nick Saban several times leading up to this game and during the bye week challenging Bill O'Brien's offense to get some more diversity in the run and to really do a better job of putting players in a position to succeed. Do you think O'Brien has it in him to be able to adapt and do things closer to the way Nick Saban wants them?
He can try, but I just don't see it. Especially when you look at him coming over from the NFL. NFL stuff is what he knows. And for Bill O'Brien, you pretty much getting what you're getting. You're not going to get a whole bunch of creativity. The one thing you can hope for is he leans more so toward the run game, especially when it's working. But when you've had guys like Kiffin and Sarkisian and Loxley who are just masterminds of creativity in college football and knowing how to set defenses up to take advantage of them, and then you go to Bill O'Brien, who's not adapted in that way. He's just not. I mean, you look at the wide receiver route concepts with Sarkisian, Kiffin, and Loxley, and even Brian Dable. They were different than what Bill O'Brien's running. He's telling a wide receivers to just run down the field. No, you got to get some concepts that can, manipulate these defenses, and O'Brien's not doing that.
Yep. It's been a problem all season long for me. I think you and I even spoke after last season about the whole Bill O'Brien debacle. I'm just hoping that he can do a good enough job in this game planning to at least have Bryce Young in a position where he can make some of those magician type plays. Bryce has done it all year. I'm just hoping that he can get us through LSU with a win. We can take care of business against Ole Miss. Auburn's not going to offer much of a challenge for sure, and we'll be on our way to Atlanta once again.
I just look at with Bryce, he's having to work so hard for everything, and for this to be the best quarterback that has come through Alabama, especially under Nick Saban, you don't want this guy working this hard. I go back and I look at Blake Sims didn't have to work this hard with Lane Kiffin. Kiffin made it easy for him. He made it flow for him. Jacob Coker didn't have to work this hard. Jalen Hurts didn't have to work necessarily this hard. Tua, Mac Jones with Steve Sarkisian didn't have to work necessarily this hard. When you look at Bill O'Brien and Bryce, you can just feel kind of the stress on Bryce's face because Bryce has to work so hard to overcome receivers dropping passes, receivers not running the right routes. He's running for his life because the offensive line is getting better, but they're still making runs for his life. And then, like the play calling of Bill O'Brien, he has to overcome that.
Yep, no doubt about it. I think I've seen Bryce more frustrated at times this year than ever before. He's usually Mr. Calm, ice water in his veins.
I mean, very frustrated because he's a California kid. He's from Silicon Valley where the technology, you have apps on your phone. It's simple. It's easy. Bryce is the type of kid that all he wants to do is press a button and the work's done for him. He don't want to be. He's not the type to just get into a power stirring window car and you have to turn the window up. No, hit the button, the window goes up itself. And it's the same thing in this offense. With this offense, it feels like Bryce has to turn and move and push and all of this instead of O'Brien being able to throw some wrinkles in there to get stuff easy flow for Bryce.
No doubt about it. Well, I'm going to get back out here and get to doing some of this stat work and looking at some more matchups. I just thought I'd holler at you and see where you were at today, getting ready for this huge matchup, top 10 matchup in Baton Rouge between Alabama and LSU.
Absolutely, man. I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Roll Tide.